The men's sprint then, moving on. We've already seen the first ride of the various riders in this men's sprint quarter-final. Let's just recap. Francois Purvis leads GLAETZER 1-0. Van Veldhoven is 1 down to BOTTICHER. Sam Webster leads against Jason Kenny, and DMITRIEV leads against Maximilian Levy after the first ride. All of these quarterfinals can go to a decider. It's the best of 3. And the first 2 riders on the track will be Francois Purvis and Matthew GLAETZER of Australia. Heat number 1 of the quarterfinals of the Men's Sprint World Championship. Francois Purvis in the red, white and blue of France, the tricolour colours. Matthew GLAETZER, one of the Cyclones, the Aussie Cyclones, in 2nd place there. Looked a little bit over-geared to me in the last ride, so maybe he's gone into the centre of the track and talked to the coaches. They will have looked at the data, they'll have looked at the temperature in this track. They also, interestingly, look at the whole pressure affecting the centre of the track too. That then can help them make a decision on the gear size. It just looked like he was fighting the gear a little bit. Purvis looked a lot smoother in the first ride. These 2 riders have already got World Championship medals. GLAETZER, the bronze medal from 2011 in the team sprint. Purvis, the 1 kilometre champion from a couple of nights ago. He was hoping for the Keirin title as well, but he was relegated for an infringement. GLAETZER with that hunch style over the handlebars. Real style of sprinters from more of a bygone era. On the front then, Purvis starts to accelerate. He's going to go early, isn't he? He's decided he's got the power from the 1 kilometre. GLAETZER racing around, trying desperately to get in the slipstream. Working really hard as he tries now to get back in contact with Purvis. He's going to challenge him on the line, but Purvis takes it. 2-0 to the Frenchman, over 70 kilometres an hour, and he will go through to the semi-finals. Powering his way round turn 4 into the finishing straight. GLAETZER working hard, but he doesn't manage to get there, and the win is just about half a wheel. This Frenchman always likes to entertain the crowd, but he's pretty serious tonight about winning. Speaks very, very good English. Flicks the toe straps. He's through. He doesn't have to go to the decider. Moving on then to heat number 2. The All Blacks represented by Simon van Veldhoven. This is the German rider, Stefan Bucher, the world champion already this World Championships. Bucher leads. Van Veldhoven has got a lot of speed in those legs. but he needs to wind it up from a long way out. Botticher has got more of that sprint, really can accelerate very quickly up to top speed. Van Veldhoven being held up there, drops down onto the sprinters' bars. He now leads off. Both riders choosing pretty much identical equipment. Rear disc wheel for aerodynamics and strength, stiffness out on that back wheel. Bladed carbon fibre front wheel, nice and aerodynamic, but the airflow through it's good, so you can move the bike around. And in fact, both these frames pretty much identical. Really stiff carbon fibre bikes. Neither of these riders, by the looks of things, using filled-in chain rings where the chain goes. Botticher has a slightly different handlebar formation. Three laps of the track, the initial opening laps, normally a bit of a game of cat and mouse as the two riders try to maneuver their opponent into the position they want them to be. Obviously, the best place normally is in the slipstream of the rider in front of you. However, if you're a rider who likes to race over a longer distance, maybe, that you can accelerate and hold top speed for more than 200 meters, then you'll like to go from the front. But the element of surprise always from the rider in second place. Simon van Veldhoven in the black at the front. Stefan Bucher, they now go up the banking a little. Van Veldhoven decides, well, it's not going anywhere, is it? So he starts to move around the top of the banking. Still got to keep the pressure on the pedals up there, or you can slide down on this Siberian pine. You don't want to do that. Van Veldhoven now holding his opponent up the top of the track, kind of enticing him to dive down the banking early, which he doesn't do. So Van Veldhoven goes to the front. Botticher will want to make sure he dismisses him and goes through to the semis. Now Botticher goes into the slipstream, working hard, round the outside, but Van Veldhoven takes it. A magnificent ride there, just under 70 kilometers an hour. 1-1 between these two riders. Van Veldhoven got the tactics right, just working that bike. Rocking and rolling a little, but looked a lot better this time. So we will go to a decider for Van Veldhoven and Botticher, 1-1. This is the next heat, heat number 3. Sam Webster of New Zealand against the man at the front, the world keirin champion Jason Kenny. Jason Kenny now has to win this one to go equal with Sam Webster, but this man's looking good, isn't he? Got his tactics perfect in heat number 1 between these two guys. Webster, as you can see, with a little green dot there, 1-0 up. He's just seen Van Veldhoven equal his contest with Botticher. Sam Webster, will he adopt the same tactics as last time? Kenny will know that now. They'll have worked that out in the New Zealand pen. A small team of New Zealanders here, but they're certainly riding well. And Webster doesn't want to let Kenny take the initiative, if he can possibly help it. Winding up and down the track. Keeping Kenny now nice and high now. Looking for him to dive down inside and inviting him to do so. That doesn't happen, so Webster goes to the bottom of the track. Remember at the Olympic Games watching Anna Mears going round and round the track before her final with Victoria Pendleton, and just going up and down the banking, getting the smooth line. Now Webster's going to accelerate. He has the element of surprise. Kenny having to work to even get close to him. Webster looking really strong here, the New Zealander, and Kenny's not going to get anywhere close to him. Webster wins it 2-0, and he gets rid of the world keirin champion. 71 kilometers an hour. 2-0 to Webster. A stunning sprint from the New Zealander. Got to admire him there. He absolutely rode that to perfection. He never let Jason Kenny take the initiative in any shape or form. Which means that the world keirin champion will only ride for the 5th to 8th places. And Sam Webster has put himself through to the semi-finals. Only one ride in these sprints is going to go to a decider so far, but can Maximilian Levy of Germany go equal on rides with this man, Denis DMITRIEV, who leads 1-0. Maximilian Levy, the keirin silver medalist, 3 times the world team sprint champion. Maximilian Levy, his teammate Robert the Thighs Forsterman has been on the track today. Robert Forsterman, who has 32-inch thighs. Pretty major. DMITRIEV on the front then, in the red, white and blue of Russia. Pretty identical bikes, as we've mentioned already, between these two riders. These sprint bikes have got to be really strong. The amount of power that these riders put in is absolutely incredible. Thousands of watts. DMITRIEV at the front, Maximilian Levy in second place. Levy has to win this one to go to the decider. DMITRIEV now holding Levy up the track. Levy's going to go on the inside. Now another little bit of a weave, right and left. DMITRIEV still right up at the top of the banking. Oh, Levy goes down the track. He goes early. Doesn't commit himself to the red line. Now he does. So he dives down the banking. Levy's got his tactics sorted. DMITRIEV's accelerating now into the slipstream. He's going to try and go past him before the finish. Oh, has he got it? The crowd think DMITRIEV got it. It's going to go to a photograph, but the Russian believes he has. Here's the sprint. Look at that. He does get it right on the line. DMITRIEV dismisses Maximilian Levy. And that is the loudest cheer we've heard in this velodrome in 4 days. So far then we know, look at this, Levy committed himself. rocking and rolling into the home straight, but DMITRIEV didn't give up. He's just pumping every little bit of power he can through that bike, hits the line, and he takes it. Only one race then in the quarterfinals will go to the decider. That's the race between Van VELTHOOVEN and BOTTICHER. Apart from that, we have seen Francois, Purvis, Sam Webster and Denis DMITRIEV qualify for the semi-finals.